Her voice came through the phone like a contract sliding across polished wood. "If you don't buy me a Rolex for my birthday," she said, almost bored, "I'm going on a girls' trip to Miami, and I won't pick up the phone." No pause, no humor. I stood in the kitchen of the house I built hour by hour, calloused paycheck by paycheck. The walls still smelled like fresh paint and old ambition. My coffee went cold in my hand. I pictured the watch instantly. Heavy, gold, something that measured time while quietly stealing it. Outside, a neighbor laughed. A lawn sprinkler ticked like a countdown. She waited for my response. I didn't give her one. Silence stretched. I could hear her breathing, controlled, confident. She already knew how this usually ended. I'd fold. I always did. But something in the way she said, "won't pick up the phone," lodged itself behind my ribs. Not anger, not fear. Calculation. I watched my reflection in the dark window, a man who had traded his 30s for stability, who believed sacrifice was love if you stacked enough of it. "Think about it," she added, softer now, strategic. The call ended, and in that quiet, something irreversible began to move. I told myself it was just a threat, a dramatic flourish. She liked leverage. She liked knowing the weight of what she could take away. Still, patterns surfaced once you stopped looking away. Her phone always face down now. Miami mentioned twice in 1 week. A new laugh, sharper, younger, when she texted. I replayed moments I'd archived as harmless. Late nights, sudden gym sessions, a new obsession with timepieces, luxury, status. The watch wasn't the point. The watch was proof. I remembered how she used to admire my hands, rough, practical. Now she corrected how I dressed, how I spoke. She'd outgrown the man who paid for the ground she stood on. Denial tried to rise. I smothered it. Denial wastes energy. I realized something colder. This wasn't a demand, it was a test, and I was already being replaced by someone who passed it effortlessly. I didn't confront her. I adjusted. I learned her rhythms. When she left the room to take calls, when her smile didn't reach her eyes. I synced our cloud accounts quietly, tracked the Uber receipts, a downtown hotel bar, Tuesday nights, always Tuesdays. I hired a forensic accountant under the guise of refinancing the house, found gifts I never saw, charges that weren't meant for me. At night, she slept easily, curled toward the phone, toward the future she thought she was choosing. Inside me, a slow burn. Not rage. Focus. I rehearsed conversations I'd never have, planned outcomes she'd never see coming. The Rolex deadline approached. She circled it like a shark sensing blood. I smiled. I nodded. I told her I was working on something special. That wasn't a lie. The report arrived on a Wednesday. Clean, methodical, cruel in its precision. A man 10 years younger, private equity, married, but flexible with truth. He'd bought her a bracelet already. Temporary things for temporary women. That night I poured wine. Let her talk. Let her sell the version of herself she wanted me to buy. Finally, I slid the folder across the table. "What's this?" she asked, already knowing. "Your Rolex," I said. She opened it, watched her reflection fracture in the glass tabletop. Her mouth opened, closed. "I can explain." "I know," I said, calm, absolute. She cried then, loud, messy. The way people do when they realize the game board has been flipped while they were still counting pieces. I didn't raise my voice. I handed her a plane ticket. One way. Miami. "I paid for the trip," I said. "You should go." Her eyes searched for anger, for forgiveness, for weakness. She found none. "The house is in my name," I continued. "So is everything in it. I changed the locks this morning." She shook. Begged, promised versions of herself that no longer existed. I stood, straightened my sleeves. "Tell him," I said softly, "you chose the watch." and I walked her to the door like a guest who had overstayed without noticing the season change. The house is quiet now. Honest. I sit where the light hits the floor just right, where no one demands proof of love in ounces of gold. I didn't win her back. I didn't need to. Some people mistake access for power. Others learn too late that patience is sharper than any threat. Time ticks on, and for the first time, it belongs to me.